Hi, my name is Sherilyn Dorsey, and I am creator and founder of You're More Than Their Mother, and I help entrepreneurial moms reclaim, realign, and rebalance their lives and go after their dreams. How are you today? I'm so appreciative that you joined in with me. And today we are talking about, if I'm not mistaken, I think I entitled this one, You may be the problem, or it's not everybody else. Something like that. You all know I always have an issue with remembering what I titled these things. But basically, the gist of today is going to be us talking about how sometimes we may be the problem. We may have all these situations and all of this turmoil or unrest, or these things that are providing some type of issue in our lives. And very often we kind of point out and say, why is this person doing that? And why is this happening in this way? But I want us to take a closer look at ourselves, because very often, if we stop and took a look within, we'll find that very many times we're the problem. We're the problem. I don't know how to fluff that up for us, but that we can be the problem in situations, and that's not a bad thing. It's just that I think that we have to recognize the issue that we bring into a situation in order for us to get better at it, and to not only rectify the situation that we're in, but to be better going forward. And that's always the goal. So let's talk about that for a second in terms of it being us. First of all, it being us as the issue. First of all, let's talk about it from a personal perspective. Let's talk about it with the people who we have around us. I know very often we talk about, especially as moms and when we're going after our entrepreneurial dreams, we change. We change a lot in terms of our focus, in terms of the amount of time that we have available. We change in terms of the activities or the habits that we used to engage in. We're starting to shift all of that. So the people who we hung around and did those things with, they take notice to that change, right? They'll say things like, literally, you've changed. You're not the same that you used to be. And we like that. That's a plus. That's a good thing, right? Because we are intentionally changing things in order to become who it is that we said we wanted to be. So that's a plus for us. But sometimes there can be a level of stress associated with that, a level of unknowingness, or really in the true sense or definition of the word, ignorance, that comes with us taking a leap of faith. There's a level of fear that comes with that, and that also shifts us. That also makes us a little bit uneasy sometimes. That also makes us a little bit quick at the tongue sometimes. That also makes us a little bit standoffish at sometimes. And that's not the other person. That's not those loved ones around you who are going away. That's actually you. That's actually you. And you need to recognize the fact that you are changing. You are changing. And sometimes when we look out at other people and see, or they take notice to us making this change, we take affront to it, because we want to feel like, hey, I'm still this same person that I've always been, and I'm still who I used to be, or whatever it is, language you want to put around that. But we need to recognize that we are indeed changing. We are not the person that we used to be. And sometimes that can cause a problem in your relationships. And if it's causing a problem in your relationship, it's very likely that that relationship has grown to all that it can be. And it really may be time to walk away. Right? Does that make sense what I'm saying to you? Are you able to understand where I'm going with this? We don't always, good, Tracy. I'm glad you're getting what I'm saying here. Because this is really this is really kind of fresh with me, and I'm noticing that, a lot of relationships that I'm having are changing, and it's okay, but it is an adjustment for me to learn how to be different. Then in some cases, it may not be so much that we are just, there's the physical element of the change that we're going through, right? Meaning our behaviors, our habits, our thoughts, our patterns, and things like that. And then sometimes, because of this unknowing, this this bit of fear that's going on in us, sometimes we can come off with an attitude. We can come off with an attitude towards our loved ones because we're in a space of uncertainty. So we don't need them challenging us on who it is that we think we are. We don't want them challenging us on what it is that we're doing with our lives now differently than what we were in the past. So we may be quick-tongued with them. There have been times where I've been like that. And here's the way that you can tell if you are part of the issue. It is, look at the people who you are attracting. What I believe is life is a mirror to you, right? Life mirrors back to you what it is you're giving out into the world. So with that being said, if you have people who are kind-hearted around you, if you have people who are loving and gentle-spirited around you, very likely that is who you are. Not very likely, that is what it is, right? That is who you are. You are just simply attracting those people who are like you. Now, it doesn't mean that, now let me first go a little further. If you have people around you who are honorary, if you have people around you who are not necessarily what you would call positive or negative people, I guess is the word I'm looking for. If you have people who are around you who seem to just be spewing negativity, that's who you are. Now, it doesn't mean that's who you are eternally. But right now, that is the vibe that you're giving off. So what's happening is that magnet is attracting its like. So you're presenting that out into the world. So if you ever want to know how it is that you're being, the space that you're in right now at this time, look at those people closest to you. Look at those type of people that you seem to be attracting, right? So I went through this period where it seemed like everybody around me, I just was like, these people are crazy. They just need to get over themselves. Well, I really had to take a hard look at myself and see that that's really what I was giving off. I was in such a space of uncertainty in my life, of unrest, of unfulfillment, that it was coming off into the world like that. So I was attracting other people into my life that way. And that happens. You go through periods in your life like that. So you can't, yes, I pull back when I notice negativity. Now, Sandy, let me ask you, when you notice negativity in what? You or other people? Tell me what perspective you're coming from with that. Because it's very real that, again, who we are is just showing up, or life is just reflecting. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's fantastic. And that's really what this is all about. We so often are always spewing out, and I get that. Before I even go into this, I want to preface this by saying I get that it's very easy to look at another situation and diagnose that really quickly versus our own. It's hard to see the picture when you're inside of the frame, as they say. But we have to, in order to become better people, in order to become better mothers, in order to become the type of entrepreneur or businesswoman it is that we want to be or that we're striving to be, we have to take an honest look at ourselves and not be afraid to say, it's me in this situation. It's me who needs to do better. I'm the one who's fallen short. I am the one who needs to improve. And when you find that that's the situation, hey, Rhonda Rice, thanks for joining in. And when you find that's the situation, if the situation warrants it, apologize. Speak up and correct yourself and say, you know what? It's me. It's not you. Give me a minute. I love how you said, Sandy, you pull back. You have to notice that. And sometimes when we do recognize it, and when in those instances when you do pull back, for example, if I can use what you said there, Sandy, when you do pull back, it's so important too that you say, I apologize. Because sometimes that silence can be seen as disregard. And it's not that we want to come off in disregard. We just want to make sure, okay, no problem, see you later. We just want to make sure that the people, that we are taking care of ourselves first and not running offense or afoul to other people intentionally. And we know how it would make us feel if someone was negative to us and then just disappeared. So be sure that you speak up and own the space that you're in. That will help to nurture and cultivate good relationships that will last. And it doesn't mean that you'll have to talk and be with that person. I have to see how I can handle it differently. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you get that perspective when you pull back. Now, in business, let's talk about how it affects us there. In business, the same is true. You all know I live by the motto of how you do anything is how you do everything. So it will show up in your business. So when you're in that space of negativity, or in that space of uncertainty, fear, that shows up in your business as well. And let me tell you areas that will fall deficient. You'll see that your turnaround or your follow-up time is not what it should be, or what you're used to doing, because there's a level of doubt that rises up in you that says, "Wow, and first of all, it'll turn into doubt in terms of, am I good enough, and show up as esteem. Is this business good enough? It creates all type of negative self-chatter in you. And it's really because you haven't taken that moment to take a deep breath and step back to evaluate what it is that you're feeling. I love so much what you said there, Sandy, because it's very, very true in life and in business. And when you don't do that, not only do you not follow up in the way that you should, you don't reach out in the way that you should, because you're feeling some kind of way. How many of us had times where we just said, man, I'm feeling some kind of way? And the reason that you're feeling some kind of way is because you're unresolved on something. There's something, that you haven't sat down, taken a look. Let me back up. There's something that you have not, yes, I shut it down. I love that. There's something that you simply are ignoring. You know something is going on. You may not know quite what it is, but you haven't taken the time to find out what it is. And you're trying to go through life as usual, and everything is not normal. Everything is not okay with you. And you're giving that off to other people. So be aware of that. Sometimes it's not them. Sometimes it's you. And it doesn't make you a bad person. So to wrap this up, I want to make sure that I'm clear that while we are recognizing that sometimes it can be us who's bringing the issue to a situation, I also want to remind us to be gentle with ourselves. We are human beings that have emotions that go up and down. Although we shouldn't let extenuating circumstances dictate our emotions, it does happen. And when it happens, we have to allow ourselves time to check ourselves to say, this situation won't control me. I have power over it. And we have to take time to affirm who it is that we are. Send a special word or speak a special word or blessing over that person, even if it is even if you do have to let them go and deal with them no longer. We wish them well on their journey, but you have to get clear and be gentle enough with yourself in order to bring yourself back to who it is that you really are. But the first step is admitting that it could be you. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. There is no shame in that. It doesn't make you less of a mom or a bad mom. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't make you a bad mom because you're that way. It doesn't make you less of a businesswoman because you're that way. I actually think it makes you even more or even better of a mom and more of a businesswoman dealing in integrity, because you have the courage to own your full self. We don't want to just boast when things are going well. The transparency has to be there in order for people to connect with you. And that includes your family members. So have the courage to do that. To say, it's not you, it's me. And I am okay with having to retract from this situation in order to come back to myself. Okay? So try that in your home as well as in your business, whether you're stepping out in it or whether you're a pro about it. So I hope that made sense to you, and I hope that gave you some perspective on where it is that you are, or those ebbs and flows of life. I guess that's the best way for me to say it. On those ebbs and flows of life, and how to really get back to yourself. You are worth your own attention, and I'm telling you, I am an advocate. Yes, it does. I am an advocate. I am a martyr for self-care first. And I truly believe that if you are not okay, nothing around you will be okay. not your loved ones, not your children, not your business, none of that. And so I am all about providing ways in order for us to be okay. When we're okay, it opens up everything else. So when you're coming from that space, you'll see the urgency of your own attention. Hey, Rhonda writes, yes, you'll see the urgency of your own attention to you. So I hope that helps, guys. I hope that meets you right where you are. And if this situation happens to you, I hope you can use these tools to kind of get you back to who it is that you know that you are, because you are a great person. You are a person of significance, and you are a person who you're loved, most importantly by you first, right? So I hope this helps you. I am going to get out of here because I have some bumping around to do. Thank you so much for joining me, and please do join me every Monday through Friday live on Periscope at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks so much for joining me. Remember, until we meet again, and all the time actually, it's time to move beyond everyone else's expectations of who we ought to be and become the woman we thought that we could be. Thanks so much for joining. Bye. Thanks for the hearts. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.